Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Friday energy forecast. So, for today, we have our energy mantra. And once again, there's not going to be any cards. This is just going to be the energy mantra with the message that goes along with it. And just on top of that, remember that my Miracle Minded course is now open for registration. And if you are interested in finding out more information about the Miracle Minded course, you can go over to my website, awakeningmiracles.org. So let's jump into our energy mantra for today. So, our energy mantra for today is I see and trust love's guidance in every situation. Okay, so once again, I see and trust love's guidance in every situation. That is our energy mantra for today. And our guidance that goes along with our energy mantra for today is we have to remember one important thing. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, good morning. And so we have to remember one important thing about today's mantra. To see and trust love doesn't mean that we are dumbing ourselves down. It doesn't mean that we are ignoring reality. It doesn't mean that we just become, just wear rose-colored sunglasses. It doesn't mean that we don't think at all. What seeing and trusting in love's guidance in every situation really means is that we are willing to look past the illusion to the truth that lies beyond. Now, you may ask yourself, well, how do we do this? Because that's one thing I am a stickler for. If it's not practical, then it's not spiritual. And that was actually something that my friend Deborah Bowen, the Inner Queen coach, said on a podcast one time. And I have just taken it because it was such a wonderful reminder that spirituality is here to help us through the trials and through the opportunities for growth in our lives. And so, spirituality doesn't mean that there aren't going to be opportunities for growth and things aren't going to come up. It just means that you are going to be guided through it. And so, a practical way that we can really start to practice seeing and trusting love, or even asking for love's guidance in every situation, is really simple. And all you have to do is, and you can either do this, physically, or you can just kind of imagine yourself doing it in whatever situation you may find yourself in. But you just simply place your hands over your heart. You can either place it over your heart chakra, which is in the middle, or over your actual heart. It does not matter either way. Good morning, Karen. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And all you have to do is just take a deep breath in. I always like to do 3 deep breaths. It just, for me, it helps me. But you can just take 1 deep breath. But we take our 3 deep breaths and just let it out the mouth. This is actually called pranic breathing. When you take that deep breath in through the nose, you hold it, and then you just let it out the mouth. It's actually called pranic breathing. And so we take 1 more breath. And then all we have to do is simply ask, what would my heart say? Or what does love say about this situation? And that's it. And then instead of analyzing it, because that's a good majority of the time what we do is we'll try to analyze the answer. We don't need to analyze anything. We can say the first loving, compelling, peaceful thing that comes to our minds. And as we do that, that's where things start to shift and change. Because love doesn't make you, love sometimes will have us go through what seems uncomfortable for us. And the only reason that it is uncomfortable is because we're not used to it. We're not used to relying on love. We're not used to asking love for guidance. We're not used to seeing love in every situation. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining. And so since we're not used to that, it feels very uncomfortable. It feels really weird. But the more and more that you do it, the more and more comfortable you get with it, the better and better things happen, the better and better you get at it, and the more and more likely you are to go to love. And like I said, when you rely on love's guidance, love is always going to lead you what is to most peaceful, compelling, happy, and joyful for everyone involved. And so, like I said, when you ask for love's guidance, when you trust in love, a lot of people have this misperception that if you do that, you can only speak really softly, and you have to speak like really weird. That's not how love works. Love uses you. Love speaks through you in whatever way is going to be the most conducive. Now, if you are not used to speaking your truth, let's say, you shrink back because you're not sure if people are going to accept you or they're going to love you or they're going to, yell at you. If you ask for love's guidance, love is going to tell you the exact way to say it, not necessarily so the person's going to understand or so the person's going to get it, but it's going to put it in such a way that you feel confident enough in speaking it. Because we can either choose to see fear and choose fear's guidance in every situation, or we can choose to see and trust love's guidance in every situation. And fear is always going to fear is always going to make more fear. And I want to be very, very clear about that word. That's why you saw me stop. Because to create something means that it is eternal and can never be changed. To make something, of course, this is just my opinion, but to make something it can be made or it can be unmade. When something is created, it cannot be uncreated or destroyed. It is now a permanent thing. So you can either, when you go with fear's guidance, you will make more fearful situations. But when you go with love's guidance, you will create more loving situations. Why will you create with love? Because love is the only thing that's real. And that's something I have learned from A Course in Miracles. Fear is nothing more than an illusion. Love is really the only thing that's real, which is why when we ask for love's guidance is very simple. It's like, take a step forward or take a step back or look at this differently. Where the ego's guidance is more like, okay, you got to go talk to Tom, who's going to talk to Harry, who's going to talk to Jill, who's going to talk to Tom again, who Tom is then going to go talk to Jerry, and Jerry's then going to go over to Melissa, and then Melissa's going to go talk to Paul, and it's this big, like, gigantic story where, love will be like, just go talk to Paul. Just go talk to Paul. That's it. Done. Simple. Love is simple. The ego and fear is very complex. And so we just need to really be willing this week or not this week, but at least today, to follow our energy mantra of, I see love. I see and trust love in every situation. Go straight to that heart space. Remember, the reason we go to the heart space is because that is what we have detailed as our center of love. Good morning, Renee. So that is, where we've really said, okay, I put all my love, that's where my center of love is, in my heart. So that's why we go to that heart space and ask for that guidance. Good morning, Paula. So that's why, you always will hear me or you'll hear other spiritual masters, teachers, students say, go to the heart, because the heart is our center of love. It's where we've put love. And so that's what we're trusting in today. That's what we're doing today, is we are going to that space. Another great way to begin this, and I actually talked about it, I believe on Monday, which was see things differently. I always thinks the answer must be more complicated than it really is, when truth is always found in simplicity. Exactly. Yes. So we can also ask, how would my source see this? How would love see this? How would my guides see this? Or answer this? Because remember, love's guidance isn't just about you seeing things differently, it's about you responding to things differently. Fear will always make you react. So let's say someone is talking about your belief system, but what you find to be in a very negative way. Fear would react to that and perhaps attack that person, where love instead would have you respond to that person. And that's what's really key. And I actually have a pre-recorded course called Higher Communication, where we talk about that concept and how we can really put that into practice. And you can go find that on my website, awakeningmiracles.org, and that's under the virtual learning tab. So if you are interested in looking into that course. And I actually have like the full modules and what each one entails. But that is today's energy mantra. And of course, for more inspiration, more details about this for today, always feel free to come back. And I always try to post quotes or spiritual tools that you can use to better assist yourself in reminding yourself to trust in love. Because as I am reminding you, I'm reminding myself. That's why I do these, to remind myself of the energy mantras, to remind myself of what's really important. So that is today. I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. And I will see you all on Monday.